Welcome to my Commander Decks for Beginners series, where I make the most basic possible Commander decks for new players. These decks have simple and straightforward strategies, and the cards in them are low on text and easy to understand. Today we've got Jadar, Ghoulcaller of Nephalia. Jadar is a 1/1 human wizard that costs 1 and a black, for a total of 2 mana, and says at the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Decayed means it can't block, and when it attacks, sacrifice it at end of combat. This deck focuses on getting a lot of zombies out, making our zombies bigger, and attacking our opponents for the win. A deck like this is called a tribal deck, or sometimes a typal deck, because we're focusing on a specific type of card, in this case zombies. To make the most of our commander, we really want to be attacking with that 2/2 that Jadar makes every chance we get. The deck has many other ways to make zombie tokens, ones that don't have Decayed, so you can block with them and you don't sacrifice them at end of combat when you attack. I'll highlight some of my favorites here. Headless Rider costs 3 mana, and whenever it or another non-token zombie you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. Diregraph Colossus costs 3, and it enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each zombie card in your graveyard. Whenever you cast a zombie spell, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. Now, a zombie spell will say zombie here. It does not include cards like the next one, Moan of the Unhallowed, which is a sorcery that creates 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Just because it creates zombies doesn't make it a zombie spell. This card also has Flashback for 5 black. You may cast this spell from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. That's a cool way of getting a second use out of the card later in the game. Dread Summons for X black. Each player puts the top X cards of his or her library into their graveyard. For each creature card put into your graveyard this way, you put up 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped. This can get you a whole lot of zombies if you're willing to put enough mana into it, and also milling cards into your graveyard is a bonus in this deck. There are a few ways, like the card previously, that we can use our graveyard. Grave Titan is a 6 mana 6/6 with Death Touch. Whenever Grave Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. This guy makes just a ton of zombies. He is not a zombie himself though, so keep that in mind. Endless Ranks of the Dead is a 4 mana enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, create X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens, where X is half the number of zombies you control. Now that we've had a look at some of the token makers in the deck, let's look at ways that we can make our zombies bigger and better. The deck has 8 cards that pump our zombies' power and toughness. Cards like this are often called Lords in Magic, and they're a great reason to play Tribal. They really tie together all the cards in the deck in a synergistic way that's usually very easy for beginners to understand. Each one offers its own unique upside. Death Baron, for example, one of my favorites, for 3 mana, skeletons you control and other zombies you control get +1/+1 and have Death Touch. That means if your 2/2 with Death Touch is attacking and their 6/6, for example, is blocking, normally your 2/2 would die and their 6/6 wouldn't, but with Death Touch, they would both die. Any amount of damage your creature with Death Touch deals is enough to kill the other creature. Another favorite is Lord of the Accursed. For 3 mana, other zombies you control get +1/+1, pay 2 and a black, tap. All zombies gain Menace until end of turn. That means a creature with Menace can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures, making it a lot easier to get your zombie combat damage in. Do note that 2 of the lords in your deck, Death Priest of Merkel and Liliana's Devotee, are not zombies themselves, so they're not going to get a lot of the bonuses in this deck. Still worth playing though, still good for your other zombies. We have various other zombie synergy cards like Shepherd of Rot for 2 mana. Tap, each player loses 1 life for each zombie in play. Champion of the Parish for only 1 mana. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Parish. This guy can get real big. Vengeful Dead for 4. When it or another zombie is put into a graveyard from play, each opponent loses 1 life. This works especially nicely with those Decayed tokens that sacrifice at end of combat anyway. Accursed Horde for 4 mana has pay 1 and a black. Target attacking zombie gains indestructible till end of turn, which mostly stops your attacking zombies from dying in combat. For removal, we've got some basic spells like Doomblade, Murder, and Hero's Downfall. Then we've got a bunch of zombie-specific removal cards. Siphon Flesh and Dark Salvation can both create zombie creature tokens while they're doing the removal, that's nice. And Skin Render is a zombie that kills something when it enters the battlefield. Three of our 1-mana zombies are essentially the same card, a 1/1 that when it dies, target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. This can pick off something small like a mana elf, or it can finish something off that has had some combat damage dealt to it already this turn. Deadly Plot is a versatile one. For 4 mana, it's an instant that destroys target creature or planeswalker, or return target zombie creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Then we've got some board wipes, meaning cards that take out multiple creatures, often all creatures on the battlefield at once. Necromantic Selection for 7 says, destroy all creatures, then return a creature card put into a graveyard this way to the battlefield under your control. It's a black zombie in addition to its other colors and types. Necrotic Hex for 7 says, each player sacrifices 6 creatures. You create 6 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Yeah, these two destroy your creatures too, and that's a bummer. But sometimes you just need to wipe the board, and these at least leave you with some good stuff left behind. Crippling Fear says, choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3/-3 till end of turn. So this one kills everybody else's small stuff and saves all of your zombies. However, your commander is not a zombie, so keep that in mind. If your commander's out, he's going to die from this. Hex says destroy 6 target creatures. You do need 6 targets for this. If there's not 6 creatures out on the battlefield, you can't cast it. In a 4-player game, that's usually not a problem. Now for some card draw spells. In Commander, card draw is super important. So starting off, we have 3 cards that can draw us a card when a zombie we control dies. Midnight Reaper only works with non-token zombies, but it's still good. When Corpse Augur dies, he draws you X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of creature cards in target player's graveyard. Some new players are really scared of paying life to draw cards, but as long as it doesn't kill you, this is usually a very good thing. So do use your life as a resource to keep your hand full if you can. Same goes for the next 3. These have you sacrifice a creature to draw cards. This works especially well with that decayed zombie creature token that Jadar makes. A couple other cards in the deck have you sacrifice a creature for benefit. Again, we want to do this, especially with the decayed token. The minor creature sacrificing theme is one of the reasons I put the difficulty level of this deck a little higher, because most new players, that doesn't feel like something you should be doing, but that really is a good thing to do in this deck. We've got 8 super simple mana rocks to get us ahead on mana, casting bigger stuff sooner. You can check out the full list if you want to see all of them, including some zombies that I didn't cover. I am going to go over a couple of my last favorites here though. Calculating Lich is a 5/5 with Menace. Whenever a creature attacks one of your opponents, that player loses 1 life. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Dreadslaver dies this turn, return that card to the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other types. If you like the idea of a tribal commander deck, but you want one that's even easier than this, check out my Kranko build, which is a level 1 difficulty goblin tribal deck. Please hit that like button if you enjoy and appreciate all the work that goes into making a video like this. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you next time.